A man was walking through a forest when all of a sudden he came across a huge wolf. The man was frightened to death, but he noticed that the wolf was in a trap. The wolf looked exhausted, and it was clear that quite a bit of time had passed since the wolf fell into the trap. When he got closer, he noticed her swollen nipples in which there was milk. It became clear to the man that there must be hungry pups somewhere nearby. Despite her fatigue, the wolf did not let the man come near the trap. After looking around his surroundings, he decided to go search for the pups. Just after a few minutes nearby, he managed to find the location of the wolf's den. The man brought his hands to his mouth and tried to make a wolf howl to call the babies. No one appeared, so he tried again. To his surprise, he managed to get the pups to come out of the den. It was hunger that made the pups come out. The man took them and put them into his bag and then went back to the wolf. As he approached, the man saw the wolf standing quietly and looking at him. She smelled her pups and was anxiously waiting for them. When the man let them go, they joyfully ran to the wounded wolf. Licking her babies, she laid down and the little wolf started sucking for the milk. On the way to the wolf, the man noticed a body of a dead deer, so after taking the pups back, he immediately went back to bring that to them. He figured this food would be enough for a couple of days. Having fed the wolf, the man set up a campsite and stayed there for the night. In the morning, the pups woke up the man, playfully licking and sniffing his face. The wolf watched this with excitement. This made the man consider in his mind, what if I try to gain her confidence? Maybe this way I will be able to save her from the trap. Over the next few days, the man talked with the wolf for hours, fed her, and slowly began to approach her. The wolf appreciated the efforts of the man and allowed him to get a little closer to her. Once while feeding the wolf, he noticed a slight wagging of her tail and he decided that he needed to make a move to make her comfortable now. The man took a blanket, wrapped it on his hand to make it as a pillow, and laid next to the wolf so close that she could get his throat if she wanted to. She let him do it, and laying next to her on the cold earth, the man fell asleep. In the morning, he was awakened by the wolf pups again. The man was very excited and happy that he was still alive. The man put his hand on the wolf's injured leg. The wolf shuddered but showed no signs of aggression. After a short time, the man finally released her paw from the trap. He expected the wolf to pick up her pups and leave, but the man was surprised when she came up to him with the pups and began licking his hands in thankfulness. And then the most unbelievable thing happened. He realized that she was calling him to go with her. He was amazed by this behavior and he followed the wolf into the depths of the forest. After a while, they came up to this beautiful lake. The man saw that there was a pack of 8 more wolves with several pups that lived here. The wolves greeted the wolf he'd been helping with a heartbreaking howl. The wolf with her pups joined the pack. To his own surprise once more, he was not scared. On the contrary, he actually felt like he was a part of the pack. It was getting dark now, so the man made a fire and pitched a tent. He saw wolf silhouettes moving around in the dark. He had this strange feeling inside, an unusual admiration and reunion with nature. He was not afraid of the wolves. He knew they would not do any harm to him. He saved the wolf, and she brought him into her home in gratitude. He woke up with the first rays of the rising sun. He realized it was time to leave the wolf and this place. It was time to go home. When the man was getting ready to leave, the wolf was nearby, sadly looking at him. The man slowly set off, then he stopped and turned around. What did he see? The wolf and her little pups were right there, sitting in the same spot, watching him leave. They were looking at him as if they were accompanying him to the road. The man raised his hand and waved to them. The wolf answered him with a long, mournful howl, which rang through the forest. 4 years later, the man returned to the same place. Walking through the forest, he saw a trap. It was the very trap from which he had saved the wolf. Memories flooded over the man, and something made him go to that very plain where he had seen the wolf and her pups for the last time. As he was getting closer, he saw a huge bear near the lake. The bear smelled a human and rushed over to him instantly. The frightened man in an instant climbed to the top of a tree. The bear started climbing the tree for his prey. The man brought his hands to his mouth and tried to make a wolf howl several times. The man was preparing for the worst fate of his life. But suddenly, something made the bear look back and descend from the tree. From the side of the lake, 4 huge wolves were approaching. Showing their teeth and snarling awfully, they forced the bear to go away from that place. After the wolves accomplished their mission, they all left except for one. He realized that this was the wolf that he had saved 4 years ago. A loud farewell howl of the wolf broke the silence in the forest, and she ran toward her friends. The man left the forest and never returned there again. This man learned that in nature there are things which are outside the laws of human understanding.